That's really cool. Hey everyone, my name is Damien and I'm a pianist and composer. I just want to start by thanking Agnum OS for recommending the Witcher soundtrack to react to. I finally got around to listening to it 10 months later. So the music I will be listening to is from the game The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which was released in 2015 and has been extremely well received since its release. I'm going to be listening to 3 songs from the soundtrack, hence why this is such a long video. I'll be listening to Geralt of Rivia, Kaer Morhen, and Silver for Monsters. Now I haven't played any of the Witcher games before, so I'm really going in blind. And I haven't listened to any of the soundtracks either, but I'm really excited to get into it, so let's start with the first song, Geralt of Rivia. Oh wow, that's a really interesting sound. Here's the cello. This is just so beautiful. It's a really great mix of instruments too. I'm really liking this so far, it's awesome. Okay, starting to get a bit more momentum here. Oh, that's a nice trombone melody in there. A really good driving rhythm here too. Oh wow. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, really nice change of rhythm here. They kind of sound like bagpipes here. It's just really well orchestrated. It's just so much happening, but it's also quite simple. Oh wow, that was awesome. Gee, that was amazing. That was, I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but like that was just really well orchestrated, really exciting the whole way through, and I didn't know what was going to happen next. So yeah, we've got a lot to talk about here. So right from the beginning there, we had like an ambient synth backdrop, which was added a nice atmosphere to the beginning of the score. So I'm just editing this video and there's a few instruments that I say are used in the score but are actually not correct. I say that the guzheng is used, but it's actually a different Chinese instrument called a yangqin, which is also known as a Chinese dulcimer. So just please keep this in mind as you keep watching the video. And we had that really interesting kind of a twangy string instrument, which is actually a Chinese instrument called a guzheng. And we had lots of repeated notes on the instrument, and it's what we call like a tremolo. And it's basically, you can kind of draw out those notes so that they last longer. It has a really nice sound though too. So you can hear the ambient synths in the back, and then that tremolo. And then we have a harp there, and the cello comes in with a melody. And yeah, this cello melody is really beautiful here. The cello is always a really lovely instrument to have a melody written for. It just has that lyrical tone, colour, and it's in the upper middle register of its range, and it sounds really rich. So it's something you can really sing along with. And we have some strings introduced to add some harmony. Okay, and then it slowly becomes more orchestrated, so we're adding more layers here. Okay, and some cymbal rolls in the backgrounds there. And then double basses and cellos with the lower melody. And then we're getting into the more rhythmic part here. So when those rhythms are introduced in the strings and it starts to get a bit faster, we're just playing staccato, kind of accented, faster notes, and that really gets the piece moving and gives it a good driving force to push it along. The contrast between the beginning kind of ambient section and moving into this rhythmic section is really good because it gives us an easy start in, and then we get going. Okay, really great use of trombones and brass there. So that melody's in the lower register at the moment, the trombones, and we have that constant rhythm in the strings. We've got a bit of a strings playing another melody. And those drums in the back are what we call timpani. Oh, that's a really nice part there. So just before the texture gets really thick and we introduce some bagpipes, there's a little kind of string part that kind of sounds like a bit of a riser toward that thicker section. And it's what we have that tremolo again, but on the strings this time. And it has a really kind of eerie, it's kind of typical in like horror soundtracks and that. I'll just play it quickly and you'll hear how it sounds. So that bit there. Yeah. Okay, and then we have what sounds like bagpipes. Okay, a lot more drawn out chords and makes it sound a lot more full. And it's a bit of a different rhythm here too. Have those. So there's quite a lot happening here. Okay, but we just have a melody. Then there's strings playing a rhythm, and lots of percussion as well. We're at the end there, we have kind of what we call a crescendo, so which is basically going from soft to really loud. And we've got the brass and some cymbal rolls there. Cymbal rolls basically when you're playing really fast on a cymbal, and it kind of creates that gradual sound that's really effective for transitioning into different sections. And we also have a lot of the brass playing full force from soft to really loud. The brass have that kind of nasally sound as well, and that's basically created with a mute that goes in the bell, which is where the brass instrument opens up, and that creates a nasally sound. It gives it that kind of nasty, rough sound. Okay, and you'll hear it here. Listen to the brass. This is a really nice bit right at the end too. It kind of recaps what we had earlier in the piece at the beginning, where we had the harp, the Chinese instrument, and it's just playing a little melody right at the end there. Yeah, so a really, really exciting piece. I really enjoyed that. So I'm really looking forward to hearing the other pieces too. Okay, so the next song I'm going to be listening to is Kaer Morhen. Okay, so we have that same instrument again. Oh wow, that is just all the melodies in these two tracks so far are amazing. And the orchestration. Such a beautiful instrument there. It's like a flute, but it sounds a little bit different. A really progression in the accompaniment. I'm really liking this. This is awesome. It's so calming. It's a really great use of a few different instruments. It's not too much. There's that cymbal roll. Now the strings in this Chinese instrument have taken the melody. It's just a really pretty atmosphere. That was really nice, yeah. Wow, I really enjoyed that. Right at the beginning of the piece, we have that cymbal roll, which is a really nice transition into the music. We have that guzheng again, which is that Chinese instrument, the stringed instrument, and it continues all the way throughout this piece. And it's just a really nice tone color. Like it's kind of like a guitar and also pizzicato on strings. It's just, yeah, a very unique colour. So we have that cymbal roll there, and then that Chinese instrument is playing just kind of like notes from a chord progression, and then the strings are introducing melody there. And that's a really nice effect, those kind of sparkly sound in the background there. And this flute is probably like a traditional, maybe a Chinese flute. It sounds like it's maybe a wooden flute. And it's a relatively simple chord progression. So having that call and response there, that's really nice. And we've also got like a low bass line on the cellos and maybe double basses too, to outline that chord progression. So cymbal roll there. Okay. And just a really steady tempo all the way through too. Okay, those little grace notes are the really quick ones. Add some ornamentation to the melody. And so now the other instruments take over the melody. So I think that's just a violin. That sounds a bit different. It might be something else. And this section is really nice too. Both the Chinese instrument and the strings are interacting between each other here. Cymbal roll there, some higher strings. So there's nothing overly complicated through this piece, but it just keeps continuing on through a few different chords, A really nice melody, and then changing some instruments as well. There's not a huge variety of instruments, but they're all used. They all have a purpose in the score. So yeah, that was a really beautiful piece. Yeah, definitely going to listen to this soundtrack a lot more. So now the last song I'm going to be listening to is called Silver for Monsters. Okay, we have that same instrument again here. I think it is. A very different style. Oh, that's really nice. Sound like it's a quiet, like voices there in the background. It definitely has a very different texture and mood here. So that repetition is what we call an ostinato, which is really nice. Oh, that's nice. The percussion in the back is really awesome. There's two singers singing together. Lots of really cool textures here. That is sounding great. Okay. Still have that driving ostinato in the background. Oh, this is really nice. It's got a really good momentum. Oh, that's cool. Got some triplets there. Yeah. It's a really energetic piece. There's a lot happening. So there's those triplets again. Dun, 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 dun. It's such a nice ostinato too. Those cymbals as well in the drum kit too. Oh, that was a really cool piece too. I mean, all these pieces have been just all very different, and like a really kind of interesting texture all the way through. So again, we have that guzheng, which is that Chinese instrument right from the beginning, and it has that rhythmic and harmonic ostinato right through the piece. That keeps kind of like a bass line throughout the whole piece of music. And it's played in a really kind of interesting way too. It's kind of like strummed like a guitar, but also, yeah, plucking the strings as well. It's me again. So the instrument I think is being played is a guzheng, but it's actually a Southern or Central Asian instrument known under the name of tanbur, which is a variety of distinct and related long-necked lutes. So you can probably listen to that whole thing all the way through, and it's fairly similar all the way throughout. Okay. I think those kind of nasally drone sounds are some of the, like, singers with some effects on them maybe. And then we have some cymbals like on a drum kit. Okay, and some really kind of epic percussion, so lots of drums. And other things happening. Just kind of spicing up the score in the background. Okay, then we have this female singer here with kind of a raspy, nasally voice, which suits it really well. It's got a really consistent beat as well, really strong. Okay, then we have another stringed instrument there too, that's joined that Chinese instrument. And we've got some cellos and double basses in the bass line. This is a really nice melody. See that some of the other instruments are joining along. triplets here. There's also a lot of reverb in this production too, which creates a really cool sound too, in like a big open area. Okay, it's nice how we ended how we started before too. Use of the same texture right at the beginning as the same as the end. It's a nice way to kind of tie it all together. That was also a really awesome piece. Yeah, like I said before, just a really kind of great mood, atmosphere, and use of a few different instruments. It's nothing like a full orchestra or anything, but it's a really effective use of those instruments. They all have a role, and they all work really well together. So I really enjoyed listening to those pieces, and they all had like such a different kind of style and mood and atmosphere, and they all did a really good job of kind of keeping a similar atmosphere and keeping it interesting at the same time too. It didn't really get boring throughout the music, but it's really cool to hear these kind of different instruments from different cultures too used in video game score, because I mean the orchestra is a really great group of instruments to use, but using these instruments from China really give it a different texture and make it stand out. So I think that was one of my favorite parts about these three pieces. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed listening to these three pieces with me today, and I hope you found my breakdown of the music helpful and kind of learnt something from this video today. Let me know in the comments what you liked about these pieces and the whole album as well. Now, if there's any other film or video game soundtracks that you'd like me to have a listen to, you can put them in the comments too, and I might get around to them and might not. And let me know what you thought about me doing these three pieces from an album and what you thought of that, because I usually just do one piece per video. But I think it gives it a lot more variety doing three pieces in one video. So anyway, thank you so much for watching today. I really hope that you enjoyed it again, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks for my next video. So see you later.